Okay, it's saying that we're live, so I'm hoping everybody can hear my voice. Um, Me and the Avery team, the Avery Road team, and the RD researchers have been trying to help me learn how to do live. So hopefully this is working. Um, if it is, then you're seeing where I'm on my studio. I'm going to go ahead. We're going to lower this screen and hopefully work this out. So let's see. Uh-huh. I'm not sure if it's even working, you guys, so bear with me. Okay, so I am sharing my screen and presenting to everyone. And let's see how I go to, I think I click this. We shall see, we shall see. Woo! And let's see how I go to, let's try and mute that. Okay. Let me scroll down. Let's see if there's a live chat window I can click. Hey, I can see you guys. Hi. I see Braun. I see Lily Pad. All right, guys, we're getting this figured out. Okay, let's see. Let's change it from top to live. Okay. And for some reason, I have to add a comment. How do I comment? Live chat. Yeah, that's good. Hello, Silo. Welcome. Hi, Adrian. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing, so you guys are going to have to forgive me if this is like absolutely retarded sounding most of the time because I don't know what I'm doing. Thank you, Braun. Thank you. Hi, Jennifer. I don't know how to like type back to you guys yet. That'll be something I have to do. um, Ooh, I can pop out chat. Okay, let's try that. Maybe I can do that and still see you guys and go to the other screen. Hopefully. So, we're going to do a little test thing here. Let me see. Where'd I go? Where'd I go? There we are. I lost the chat, so I'm going to restore it. Okay. Hey, Van. Hi, Diane. Thank you guys for joining with me. Can everybody hear me okay? Can someone give me a sound check to make sure I'm being heard? Hey, RD. I see. Hi, everybody. Hi, Josie. Hi, Margaret. Hi, Diane. Can somebody say I can hear you? Can you tape I can hear? Yes, loud and clear. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate it. Okay. Awesome. Perfect. Awesome. You guys, this is awesome. Awesomeness. All right. Well, we're going to give everybody a chance to get in here and then we're going to walk through this latest motion. Hey, y'all. I see Misunderstood. This is cool. This is so super cool. I enjoy this. Okay. This has taken the Avery Road team, their researchers, as well as the Rubberducky researchers, the RD. Oh, thank you, Linda. It has taken us all day to walk me through how to do this because I am like not techie and not savvy at tech stuff. So, hey, Bumblebee, you made it. Thank you. Thank you, Roger. Hi from England. We've got Marion. Awesome. There's Scotch Andy. Hi. We've got a Jim Bucky. Gotcha. Sounds good. Linda's letting us know we can hear. They're shelling out. Nice to finally see. And then there's Shell G saying they can hear us. Hey, Ziggy. Thumbs up. I see a Sully. Yeah. We've got a Gina and a Janice. All right. Can't wait to hear. Yes, yes, yes. This is the best news we've had in so long, you guys. While we're waiting for everybody to kind of gather in, let's go ahead. Let's get on the paperwork here. Um, let's just go to put something on the screen real quick, and then we're going to do a screen check to make sure everybody can visually see what's being shown. So let me see. Let's find something we can all get into to look at while we talk for just a minute. We're going to go to our big surprise we're going to be bringing out is going to be a library of phenomenal level. So I'm totally excited about that. Okay, bear with me. If it's not working, we'll get it working. Let's see. I think I went back one too many. Um, let's see. Wrongfully. It was in case. Okay. Let's see. Justice, humor, no. Yeah, it's this one. Okay, guys. I'm just gonna throw up this real quick. This is just a old archived newspaper, and we're gonna see who all can see this. So let's save this. All right, and we can get off that. Okay, now let's see. Somehow I got to get back to where you guys are, and I've lost you. So give me a minute. Hmm, I've gotten lost. That's the three windows that I have. Okay. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can see this newspaper clipping there. Good deal. All righty. I've lost where I can see your little chat window, so give me just a minute to find you guys. I don't know how I screwed that up. Maybe it was on this window. Yeah, I clicked off the wrong one. So very good. Now I can get back to seeing what everybody's saying. Like I said, bear with me. It's my first time and I'm really nervous and I got to find out where the chat window went and all that kind of stuff. There everybody is again. 84 and climbing. Woohoo! We are. We're at 84, you guys. 89 are watching. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. I'm so happy to be with all you guys. Woo! Okay, I'm going to type something for you guys, just saying hi, making sure that works. And yes, I'm a loud typer, so you might see that. 91. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do this for a few more minutes. Um, I'm going to open up a new window now that I know that works and not go off the Google chat. That was my problem. So we've been in this case for many of us have been in it from 2015. Some of us have been in it since 2003, believe it or not, that live in the area. Stephen Avery actually was in a prison, in the Stanley prison, which was at the time only 20 minutes from my house when he was released. And it caught my eye because I thought a murderer was being released into public. So I investigated a little bit, found out that he was wrongfully convicted. And so it kind of fell to the side until I started seeing news broadcasts at supper time mainly and at lunch with Cindy Schott on Channel 13 News would do updates on the case where we were missing a photographer named Teresa Halbach and that she had last been seen on the Avery property. And a lot of Wisconsin thought it was absolutely impossible that this could have happened, that he was being set up. What was the change of tide was two things. When Sheriff Pagel came out and um, he wrongfully told the press, which went streamed like worldwide, that the FBI had confirmed Teresa Halbach's bones were or she was the person of the bones, which that is not what the FBI said. They said they could not exclude her because they were only working on 7 Loki, and at the time they actually required 13 Loki. I know some people believe it's 9, but I have done the research, and they required 13. So it was like almost half of what they needed to be able to confirm her. So all they would go out on a limb and say is they could not exclude Teresa Halbach. Now those bones have taken a turn. He has, just to catch up on Ma'am, he was wrongfully convicted again, we believe. Him and Brendan are both sitting in prison for another, what is it now, 12 years, something like that. And we have begun to question the authenticity of the reports that these bones may not, in fact, be Teresa's, that they may have come from the deer camp, which that would undermine the verdict of the jury because of the fact that the entire trial was based that nobody else could have had access to the victim in the location, which would have been in his own exact property, including his house with the key. And so the jury was not allowed to look at any third parties, no other suspects. And that is what the jury had to go on. Now, if we learn that these bones were really Teresa Hallbach's down in the camp, in the deer camp, which is what we believe we are able to almost prove. We're just missing some finite detail, but it's looking like we are correct on that. Um, if it is proven that those bones are Teresa's down there, that no longer would allow the Denny law to have been invoked. And so our court would have went completely different. We would have had other suspects. We would have been able to point out and say, hey, Scott Taddick and Bobby Dassey do not have alibis because Scott Taddick did not go to the hospital. He did not show up for work on the 31st with no explanation where he was. Bobby Dassey was late that night. We also have other people on the property, which is Chuck and Earl Avery, that will work that day down in the quarry as well as in the office, that do not have alibis and have suspicious timelines that really bring questions. And it provides right there 4 Denny suspects that we could have brought into that trial. How differently would the jury have viewed this trial if we would have been able to show that they did indeed have motive, that they did indeed have the ability to get to her and access to her? And that's why we're where we are now with this, because we want to test the bones to see if they were Teresa's. And we can't because they were given away to the family. Miss Hallbach's family was returned the bones on September 20th, 2011. Now, the complication is the state has agreed to allow us to do new DNA testing on those bones, knowing that they gave the bones away. And so, what we're about to read is the reply when Zellner has called that out and said to the appellate court that the state has violated its own statute, that they have not retained the biological evidence required for us to continue to pursue our innocence, with Stephen Avery and Brendan, that we need to do. So we don't have the bones to test. And so this is the state's reply. I'm sorry, not the state, the appellate court's reply that we're about to start. So with that, let's go ahead and do a check on this. I see the chat is flying by. I give props to Eric Cozy for keeping up on chat because I don't really know how to. So let's just grab this. If we could see the newspaper now. Okay. 91 now. You're doing great. Thank you, Kevin. Amy Graves says, hey. Misunderstood says, yay, hey. Akir, hi, RD, hi. Kim says, guess I'll say hi again. Exception Spirit, hi, hi, hi. Braun says, Ziggy, I unliked again. Oh my, on the way to second guess myself. Marine says, go for it. Shell G, great to have you. What's going on? Shell, we're going to go ahead. We've got a huge, exciting reply. So, I'm so excited to share this with everybody. We've got great news, is what we've got today. I'm going to jump ahead. If I miss something, forgive me. Like I said, I'm a little overwhelmed, a little nervous. Yes, I do have good news today. I'm reading the filing. Thank you, Pistol. Packet Mama. I like your name. 99. We're up to 128 now. I'm going to zoom ahead because I'm really slow at this. 119. Yeah, 129. Okay, guys. Yep. Like Russell says, we're going to break down this ruling for us, and we're going to read it first. And thank you, LL Grace. That just warmed my heart. She said, you are a blessing to Stephen and Brendan. You know, I am the voice for the RD team, as well as sometimes the Avery Road team asks me to step forward and read some of their files. Excuse me for coughing. So I'm just the voice, you guys, and I love you all very much. Thank you, Misunderstood. Okay. I think at 128, we're not growing, so I think we've got everybody that's going to have chance for us. Thank you, Jennifer. And here we go. So I'm going to flip to the screen, and then I'm going to come back. So once I flip to the screen for the newspaper or for the filing, the ruling, I'd like somebody to show me or type on there that they can see it. Okay. Okay. Love you too, Grace. All right. Here we go. Okay, so at this point, if you can see the actual filing, it should say Wisconsin Court of Appeals, and it should say Office of the Clerk ahead of that, and you should see the little symbol, and it should say to, and then the Honorable Angela W. Sukowitz, and February 25th. Okay, I'm going to flip back now to chat. Okay, did you get to see that? See it? Yes, 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 I can see it. All right, guys. And with that, I will not be able to see chat at this time. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to read through this for you guys, and then we're going to do the live chat. And with that, let's get started. So welcome everybody to Making a Murder, my journal. And we're going to start with the paperwork. If I screw up some things or if I can't say some words, bear with me. I'm just human here. But I love you guys and I appreciate your patience. All right. Office of the Clerk, Wisconsin Court of Appeals, and we are starting, and it has been, the date is February 25th, 2019. It is to Honorable Angela W. Sukowitz, and it continues with Lynn Zigmut. Now, Angela is our circuit court judge. Lynn Zigmut is our clerk of courts. Lisa Comfer is our assistant attorney general. We also have our district attorney on there, which is Jacqueline Labrie. We have Stephen G. Richards, which is Everson and Richards, Tiffany M. Winter, Assistant Attorney General, and of course, Kathleen T. Zellner. So Stephen G. Richards works with Zellner, and he is on our team. You are hereby notified that the court has entered the following order. 2017 AP 2288, State of Wisconsin versus Steve A. Avery, license 2005 CF 381. Before Riley PJ. Stephen A. Avery by counsel appeals from the circuit court's denial of his Wisconsin statute 974.06 post-conviction motions. He moved this court to stay the appeal and remand to the circuit court so that he may raise new claims, I think that's premises, on the recent discovery of a previously undisclosed police report dated September 20th, 2011, which according to Avery's appellate court counsel reflects law enforcement's transfer of multiple suspect human bones from the Manitowoc County gravel pit to the Whiting Funeral Home for return to Teresa Halbach's family. Avery alleges that the state violated its statutory duty to preserve evidence, see Wisconsin Statute 968.205, and that the state's action violated Avery's constitutional due process rights, see Youngblood v. Arizona 488 U.S. 51, 1988. The state has filed an objection to Avery's remand motion on the ground that it constitutes a new and separate action, which is unrelated to the orders Avery presently appeals, is unnecessary to the resolution of his pending appeal, and would result in unnecessary delay in litigation. The state's objection points out that this is, in effect, Avery's third remand request. The state's objection does not address the merits of Avery's claim, and constitutional violations, and it has not responded to Avery's supplemental filings alleging the possible destruction of evidentiary items which, it appears, the party previously agreed to preserve. The state suggests that the appeal is languishing and that if Avery wishes to pursue new claims outside the scope of the Wisconsin Statute 974.06 post-conviction orders presently on appeal, he could dismiss the pending appeal or wait until conclusion to file his new claims. As to the former, Avery understandably disagrees, aware that dismissing this appeal will preclude review of the underlying orders entered to date. Having considered the party's submission, we determine that the best course of action is to grant Avery's motion to stay the appeal and to remand under Wisconsin Statute 808.075 subsection 5 for action upon specific issues. As the state's response acknowledges the decision to remand is left to the court's decision, see 808.05 subsection 6, that we are not required to remand, we determine that this procedure strikes an appropriate balance given the specific circumstance of this case. Due to this case extensive history, there's a benefit to having existing claims developed and litigated while they are relatively fresh, rather than positioning the claims to be procedurally barred in a future proceeding. For these reasons, we desire a ruling on the merits so that all claims to date can be considered in a single appeal. The briefing in this appeal has not commenced. There appears to be some potential overlap between the old and the new issues. Therefore, and this is the good stuff, you guys, it is ordered that this appeal is remanded forthwith to the circuit court to permit Steve A. Avery to pursue a supplemental post-conviction motion raising claims for relief in connection with the state's violation of Wisconsin Statute 968.205 and Youngblood v. Arizona. It is further ordered that any supplemental post-conviction motion shall be filed in the circuit court within 14 days. It is further ordered that the circuit court shall conduct any proceedings necessary to address the claims raised in the supplemental post-conviction motion and shall enter an order containing its findings and conclusions. It is further ordered that if a party intends to order a transcript of any post-remand hearing, the party shall do so within 10 days after the circuit court enters its order deciding the supplemental post-conviction motion. The ordering party shall file a statement on transcript. Any transcript shall be filed and served within 30 days after its request. The ordering party shall provide the court reporter with a copy of this order. It is further ordered that the circuit court clerk shall retransmit the record to this court within 2 days after the later of the entry of the circuit court ordering deciding the supplemental post-conviction motion or the filing of any post-remand hearing transcript, if ordered. The record shall include any papers filed pursuant to this remand. It is further ordered that the appeal is stayed under the return of the record following remand. It is further ordered that the appellant shall file an appellate's opening brief presenting all grounds for relief within 40 days after the return of this record. Sheila T., I think that's brief, Clerk of Courts Appeal. All right, guys, we have finished that part. Now we're going to go back to chat for a minute. We're going to come back to this in a few minutes, and we're going to discuss what all that meant, because that was a long-winded thing. Yes, we the people have an amazing group of people here. Yes. So you guys, what it's basically saying is that the state cannot just sweep this under the carpet. They can't act like they didn't know what they were doing and we just move on like normally has happened. Actually, we now have to go into a court of law where we're going to do what's called a fact-finding hearing. So we're going to be able to present what we're saying is the bones are gone. We can't test them. We get to present that to the court. And the circuit court had left it up to the appellate court to make the decision. And since they are allowed to make the decision, they are ruling that this needs to get decided in court. How and what we're going to do. How are we going to proceed? So until then, we have a stay. Nobody does anything. We're just going to go into court. We're going to hash it out on the bones. Zellner's job is going to be to prove that the bones were indeed given. The state has already admitted that they did give the bones up, so that won't be too hard. And then we're going to find out and establish that the bones indeed were given away. So when you hear these reports that we're getting, these filings, a lot of the time they start off with back history. So the first part of it gets confusing because you're like, well, we already know all this. Yep. They're just restating the obvious of what they said last time of both sides. So they read off on the first part, they're reading off what the state had said. So they were saying, no, Zellner, you can't just jump all over the place. You're starting new things here and new things there. Stay on topic. And Zellner's saying, I'm not starting something new. I'm still saying his human rights were violated. These are all of that. I'm still filing the same motion, and I shouldn't have to start a new motion because I have things to add on to it because we haven't even started court yet. So until court starts, I can keep adding on to the 928 motion. Um, so with this, we get to go to court, and this is the best news we've had all day is that the state basically has to answer for this, and we get to find out where we're going from here with this filing. Yeah, we want a hearing. Very good, Kim Vest. Absolutely. All right, guys. Slayer, you have missed our first live chat, but you're still here, so you really haven't missed it. You just may have missed a little bit of the reading. So welcome to the group. Um, let's see. I have tears. Oh, Marion, me too. I'm just like my heart is thumping so fast. So I want to tell you guys, for no reason at all today, me and the RD team ended up going and getting the Avery Road team, and all the researchers got in one group, and no way to know that Zellner was going to get this reply. We decided to break it down to figure out how to get on live chat. And we were all like ready to pull our own hair out because one of us, our sound wouldn't work. One of us couldn't see the other. I didn't understand there was two chat windows. It just was crazy. And we've been at it for like 4.5 hours straight to the point I'm like, at the same time, I live in Wisconsin. We've had an ice storm. I have a guy on my roof for the whole time. He is chipping the ice off the roof, and it sounds like my whole roof is covered, coming down. All this is going on. And at the last minute, they post this thing from Zellner. We have figured out how to do this live. So it was all meant to be. You're all meant to be here. I'm all meant to be here. We're on live chat, and we got to break the best news since 2005 that we have attention for the first time in court. We get to go into court and we get to present a case that actually somebody has to be held accountable for all the corruption that has been just slung. You can't pick out where to even start sometimes, but this is a great place as to why can't we test the bones? Why is this such a big deal for us to know the identity of the bones? If this is just a straight up murder, straight up no hanky panky on the side, no weird stuff, nobody's being shady. If it's just straight up murder, we have murder cases all over the world. You always get to know and test the identity of the victim. It's the most important part of the entire case. Thank you, Paula. I appreciate you guys sticking with me as I learn all this. Um, yeah, I started on my phone and I was just like, I keep answering to those that oppose that he is innocent. They feel he's guilty. I kept typing the same thing over and over. So I would get on my phone and I would record little videos so that literally when I went into chat groups to try to sway the public opinion by giving them actual awareness of the case files, I was saying it over and over again. So I decided to record a video that I could just literally say, hey, can you just go watch this video? And I wouldn't have to type it every time. And it's kind of built into this huge group of people that are all so excited and passionate about fighting for those that are wrongfully convicted and getting them some justice. So I'm excited. Um, let's see what else. Is there a time frame or a time? Okay, is there a date or a time frame? Bron's asking. Let's go back to this. And let's see what we've got. So we'll skip the first part. That's where they're going over what the state has filed. The state suggests, having considered the party submission, we determine the best course of action is reprimand, okay, or remand, I should say. For those reasons, we are designing a ruling on the merits so that all claims to date can be considered in one single appeal. All right. That the old and the new issues be together. Furthermore, shall be filed in the court 14 days. So the post-conviction, that gives Zellner 14 days. So we've got 2 weeks to that. I hope that answered the question. Really good to hear how you started. Okay, it's going so fast I can hardly keep up. You are very thorough. Thank you, Brownforth. Let's see, Summerage, amazing support. Yes, we have amazing support. I want to give you guys a little background history, and I'm going to go ahead and let you in on what I've been just chattering about. We have a huge library full of the actual court documents, as well as photographs and evidence photographs. And there will be storyboards, and it's on a website, and it's being released on March 1st. It's called the R.D. Stephen Avery Library. And in that, for all those people that say, hey, where do you get this information? In order for us to get the public completely aware, they don't, the public's intelligent. They need to be able to really work over these documents on their own time and really get their own opinion. And that's where we get a broad understanding of how to protect those that are wrongfully convicted, is to get everybody familiar and not scared of the word DNA, not feeling as though that they're overwhelmed by that. Allow them to realize that the DNA is not that complicated, actually, to bring in specialists that can help us. I've been thinking about asking Braun Forth to he's very bone worthy and he knows his bones. And so I was going to be talking to him a little bit, or them, I should say, to see if we could do a live chat where we could walk through a Q&A on the autopsy with him. He went through, and yes, a library, absolutely. This library, you guys, is phenomenal. So far, what we've got done on the library is we've got an evidence room, so that's all the physical evidence. We've got our documents library, which has many, many documents in it. Plus, we'll be adding as we go. We have a who's who. So we've got the circuit court done. We've got the state players done. And we've got the county players, I'd say 98% done. The next will be, of course, the anybody that is involved in the case as a player. So that would mean anybody that you've ever heard the name of would be in the who's who. So that we're hoping to have all done by March 1st. It'll be a wonderful place for us to talk because we're going to also have a daily news on there so we can release like the TikTok stuff, 7 pairs of panties, a lot of the information out there like the Eric Cozy videos, if you want to watch them, will probably be on there. There's also a Dropbox in a sense. It's like an anonymous tip place, and you guys can drop links in there. You can drop videos in there. You can drop whatever you want. It'll go into the library review to make sure it's not already in the library. And then if it is not got somebody's personal identification or something, and it's eligible, it'll go right into the library. So you can actually get into the library with your stuff too. So instead of us all working in separate groups and we all support each other, but we're on all these little tiny groups, the library will bring us together to where we can broadcast to the entire world all the documents they need to be able to really dig into this case themselves. And the public awareness is the key. Public awareness is where we ran into the problem the first time because Pagel was a disc jockey originally. So Sheriff Pagel, that handled all the PR work of the Steve Avery, Teresa Halbach case, he was actually a speaker, a DJ. He knew how to work the media. And he went on and he misled the entire world, including myself at the time, by publicly announcing that indeed the FBI had confirmed that the bones belonged to Teresa Halbach, when actually the wording was they could not say they were not her bones. So it could have been somebody else's too. They just couldn't say it wasn't hers because she does have 7 of the Loki. That doesn't mean all that. Um, it actually was interesting because Kratz then went on to say he was amazed in a letter to an email to Miss Culhane that works at our crime lab and told Sherry he was amazed that the perception be what it was, that he'd be careful not to say that himself or in court. So you can tell that they're playing shenanigans here. Yeah, please like the video, you guys. That way I know this is worth me doing. I'm so nervous. I can't hardly even think. And I'm sure it sounds like I'm rambling, but I just wanted to do this live chat with everybody and get this out there. So now let's open it up to questions. If you have previously asked your questions, I'm not real good at scrolling. So I will humbly ask you to retype your question and I will read chat now. And as the questions come up, we will, and they don't have to be about this filing. They can be about anything on the case that you would like, or anything about the RD researchers. It can be anything. There are no rules with this chat. It's just simply a fun way to embrace the fact that we have a lot of people that are publicly supporting this. So, Kratz pulled the wool over everyone's eyes. Absolutely, Tony Kratz. He actually misled this jury using the media to taint the jury before they were even selected. And then when the jury did get selected, hi, Jerome, thank you for joining me. Hi, Courtney, love you too. The jury got selected. It was terrifying because if you really look at it, you guys, we had people that volunteered on the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Department that was on that jury. We had Remaker allowing his partner's husband to go in there for 3 hours, and he got reprimanded for this, so we know it's wrong. This gentleman was in that room alone delivering pizzas, quote unquote, with a sequestered jury to where they were not to have contact with anybody. Manitowoc County um, officer's husband was in there for 3 hours alone with them. And they've all claimed that they were intimidated and bullied. And then you got to remember, because we were misled to think that the FBI had confirmed that these were her bones and that they were in his backyard. All of the state of Wisconsin was like pitchfork and torch. They were saying things that, I mean, the whole state of Wisconsin, the public, society in a whole was saying this jury had better get it right and find him guilty, because we're not having that kind of person loose on the streets. So the pressure didn't only come from, you know, within the insider part of Calumet County, but it came from the whole thing because Sheriff Pagel had made us believe that absolutely he was guilty, and we did not want a murderer, rapist, person that would dismember bones. Of course not, walking this planet. And now, as we look into it, let's talk about the evidence real quick. Let's see if we have some questions here because I keep forgetting. Can the state appeal this ruling? Hmm, that's a great question, Jeff. At this point, I believe that because they handed it over to the appellate court and said that they would go with whatever the appellate court said, I think they cannot, but don't quote me on that. We definitely need more answers to that, but that is what I personally feel. Is since they said, you know, you decide, that they shouldn't be able to go back and say no, because they're already disagreeing when they threw their disagreement up there. So let's go back and look at that real quick. Based on that question, can they appeal? Can the state appeal this? Well, if we come up to the beginning, it says that, let's see where we get in it. The state has filed an objection. So yeah, they've already put that they disagree with this. So in theory, if we're working with logic, they should not be able to disagree with the ruling because they've already said they disagree with it there. And then the other place is, let's see, having considered the parties' submissions, we determined the best course of action is to grant Avery's motion to stay the appeal and to remand under Wisconsin Statute 808 for this action. Okay. The decision is to remand is left to the court's discretion. See 808.075. And though we are not required to remand, we determine that this procedure strikes an appropriate balance given the specific circumstance of this case. So I'm going to go with, hey, Dave, tell me. Hi, I see you, Dave. Good to see you. Thank you for joining me, you guys. This is incredible. I'm just so excited to be with everyone. The guilters are going to choke after hearing all the lies. Yeah, yeah. You know, it's getting to the point that I don't hear from the guilters as much because when you go through this, you really get a feel that we've debunked a lot a lot of evidence. So if you want to talk about, let's say we are talking to a guilter, let's say they bring up the bullet. Okay. The bullet does not have her blood on it. It does not have her bone on it. So we're only left with a few other sources of DNA that can be tested. Spit, urine, and semen. So what of that is going to kill a person? Unless she actually spit on the bullet, peed on the bullet, or I'm not even addressing the other, the bullet no longer has valid weight. Let's go ahead and talk about the key in the room. Again, DNA issues. We have no blood on the key. We have what's called touch DNA, but there is absolutely no victim DNA on the key. Also, it is a valet key that does not show wear and tear. Now, if this person is using their car every day for travel for their career and their work, this key is going to be touched and touched and touched. And so is the lanyard, and so is the connective part of the lanyard. Her hands are going to be all over that. So even if he washed that lanyard, and put it back together with that key on there, he would have, if he went through all that to remove her DNA, this individual would have been well versed to know to wear gloves when they were handling that key. Furthermore, why would he keep the key when the fork, the front loader, is what would have been used to move her vehicle, just as they did in the salvage yard quite often? So he would have never needed the key. But if he was keeping the key as a sentimental value thing, and he washed the lanyard, he would know to use gloves. And if he didn't wash the lanyard, then her DNA would be all over it. So we're done with the key. Let's move on. We got bones. Well, do we really want to talk about bones? Yes, we really do. So if the bones were down in the quarry, then we have a problem because we should have never had the Denny law, which means we would have opened the targeting field wide open to many, many suspects, including, let's just off the top of my head, Brad Shazak, his wife, and him both. He's a married man. Teresa was seeing him before she died. He talked to her, or at least had voice messages exchanged hours before her death. His wife, the year before, had filed a restraining order and then 5 days later filed a divorce. He was still seeing and talking to Teresa at the time. We have Ryan Hilligus, ex boyfriend, still seeing her on a regular weekly basis, talking to her on the phone on a regular basis. There's no doubt in my mind that he has some shady involvement with the vehicle. He also has in his hand the day planner, hands it to Kelly Pittston, and supposedly Teresa would have had this day planner with her, allegedly would have had this day planner with her during the day. So Ryan's a big, big question, as well as him calling and accusing a different Steve. I don't believe it was Steve Avery. I think he actually called Steve Sipple, originally accused him of being the last place. So I'm not sure Ryan knew what was going on there, just because it stated that it was for two vehicles, and the only double vehicle appointment for the day would have been Steve Sipple in the morning that got canceled. So let's go ahead and get back onto this. We would have had a lot of Denny suspects. Let me see how I get on here and see what we got. I'm going to scroll up. Okay, we've got Slay Rock says Avery seems like the only straight arrow in the county. I agree with that. Yep, Kim's welcoming Dave. Thank you, Kim, for welcoming. Linda Haywood, fantastic news. Thanks for delivery. Really well read. Thank you. I was live, so I was nervous wreck. I've never done a live. My voice was felt like it was quivering. And she's from Australia, so that's incredible. Misunderstood Q&A. So 10 days for a state to respond to Casey's orders. What time is the state's receipt of the letter? Sorry, I didn't quite get the last answer given on this. Okay, let's reread the question. Q&A. So 10 days for state to respond to Casey's order. I believe, what date is the state received of this letter? Sorry. I'm not sure on the question. I believe we have 14 days to respond, misunderstood. Let's go ahead and look at that and see. Post conviction. It says it is further ordered that any supplemental post conviction motion shall be filed in the circuit court within 14 days. It is further ordered that the circuit court shall conduct any proceedings necessary to address claims. So they are being ordered to address the claims. So first it's saying that our claims need to hit court within 14 days. That's Zellner's part. And then it's saying that the circuit court shall conduct any proceedings necessary to address our claims, Zellner's claims, raised in the supplemental post conviction, and shall enter an order according to its findings and conclusions. So it's ordering them to respond. And then it says, it is further ordered that if the party intends to order a transcript of any post hearing, the party shall do so within 10 days of the circuit court enters into its order deciding the supplemental post conviction. In other words, if they want to look at what they're doing, if they need copies of everything, they need to do it within those 10 days. The ordering party shall file a statement on transcript. So it has to be a written, okay? It has to be all written down. It can't be just verbal. Any such transcript shall be filed and served within 30 days after the request. So it appears that the state will have 30 days to enter a written answer for what we're putting out there. It is further ordered that the circuit court shall retransmit the record to this court within 20 days after the latter of the entry of the circuit court ordering. So that'll give them 50 days. All right. So basically, what we've got here is we've got so many days, I believe it was 14, to get our order, our post conviction motion out there to them to say, hey, and I think it's going to go something like, well, you guys knew we were wanting to test the bones, you approved it, then you gave the bones away, we have proof of that. Now, how do you respond? And then we wait for their response, which it appears to me that they have 30 days to put that in writing. They actually have to, the party shall do so within 10 days at the circuit court. So they have to answer in 10 days and then they have to put it in formal writing within 30. So within a month, we should have some answers. This is the first big news that we have had in so long in this case. Okay, let's see what else we got here. I don't know if that answered, but I sure hope so. I'm trying, you guys. I'm trying. Thanks, Misunderstood, for the question. Will this news help Brendan? Margaret has asked if this news will help Brendan. This news specifically does help Stephen, and depending on how this washes out, we have a complication because it's kind of a three-way triangle. Brendan's got himself in a box. So, being that Brendan confessed to this from the state's point of view, or coerced by our point of view, in other words, he just repeated what the words were fed to him. Unfortunately, we all know that if we take the word Stephen out, the name out Stephen, and we put the name Bobby, we don't clear Brendan. Yet Bobby is the main suspect in the Stephen Avery case for being a Denny suspect on the Zellner view. So we have a complication. While Zellner is implying that our Denny suspect could be Bobby, that then does not necessarily help Brendan in certain ways. However, the state did not sentence Brendan based on him helping Bobby. It sentenced Brendan on him helping Stephen. So that's where we're going to have to kind of see how the sand shakes through the hourglass here and wait it out, because we really are not quite sure. It's kind of like trying to play the cards ahead of time. We have to see how the state responds, and we have to see how things go forward. I mean, what's the state going to say to this? They now have to answer to the fact that they have purposely facilitated the destruction of the biological evidence. And in doing so, they have violated a state law which violates the human rights of this person, the defendant, the one that is not released out of custody. And so we've got to see how they're gonna work this out. Okay, let's see what else. I know I'm no good at reading these questions because I don't know what I'm doing. Let me try to make the screen bigger. Oh, You guys, I have my screen at like 20%. So this will help me be able to read your questions. Oh, that's fantastic. Now I can see again. Okay. So we answered that one, or at least the best I could. We'll give it a minute because my screen went dead. I just see a big white screen now. I should be giving you guys something to look at, I suppose, too. Oh, wow. Made it huge. Now I can keep up. Okay, now we know what to do. Now we know what to do. I have to enlarge the screen and the chat becomes the main window and you guys can see the chat and I can see it. Tony Fortini, canines don't lie. You got that right. No hit in Steven's trailer. Teresa never was in there. Forensics backed that up. Kratz speculated about everything. Absolutely, Tony. By the way, Tony, I just want to say a personal thank you for always jumping on the channel. He's part of the RD channel. He's like a Rubberducky researcher in his own right. And he gets on there and he helps us answer a lot of the questions that get asked, as well as those that would like to debate whether Stephen Avery is innocent or not, or whether Brendan is innocent or not. And I appreciate that so much from the bottom of my heart, Tony, because I can't cover it anymore. This is getting bigger than I can do. Um, so we'll go down a little bit further. Okay, we've got a Q&A from Scott Farish. Casey can add all the claims besides the bones. Yes, that's what they were saying. If we go back up here, it's basically saying, let's see, where was it about the old and the new up here? Um, we'll highlight this. See if I can do it. There we go. For these reasons, we desire ruling on the merits so that all claims to date can be considered in a single appeal. The briefing in this appeal has not commenced. In other words, it hasn't started, so there's no reason why we shouldn't do that. There appears to be some potential overlap between the old and the new issues. So absolutely. So we'll come back to chat. That's Scott. Love the live stream. Thank you, TC. Much love. Kisses. Daisy Lady, Kevin, it's nice to know I'm not alone. Jerome, RD, you make a great job. You make a great job. Thank you. You rock, Jerome. You rock. Slayer rocks. Will the bones be tested? I suspect only Carmen's bones are involved. Teresa's brother's early acceptance of death makes me suspect he jumped the gun on a fictional scenario. Well, the thing is we don't know what they've done with the bones. So if the family has went with this theory of mine that they're going to come back and they're going to say that they recremated the bones and took them out to sea in Florida and spread ashes at the ocean, then we get no bones. Now, if they said they put them in the ground, we'll get an exhume order and we'll get the bones exhumed and we will be able to test bones. Um, do I suspect that they're Carmen's bones? I'll be honest, you guys, I have no reason not to suspect it when we now know that the Wiegert, I'm sorry, the Wiegert, oh Lord, the Whiting Funeral Home as well as the Pfeiffer Funeral Home, both are basically owned by the same person, and there's two locations and they're shared. You know, you're at the same funeral home. And we've got both of them there. They both disappeared on the 31st, never seen again. And then we have them showing up on 8:30 in the morning on November 3rd. Carmen is reported dead. And at 2:52 p.m., Teresa Hallbach is listed as death on the incident report when her mother calls her in missing. I'm telling you, these people are 5 miles apart, same body build, look very similar. If there's so many people that say, well, maybe the cops secretly found Teresa, her body, didn't want them to know the real killer, so they burnt her bones. We have a problem. That could never have happened in a million years in my book. My humble opinion is that if they had access to her hair or to her fingernails or to her teeth, whether she was dead or not, they would have ripped that out and we would have had biological evidence all over that trailer. So in theory, the way I feel very strongly is that the law enforcement never saw hide nor hair of Teresa. They had no access to her. And that's why we possibly have Carmen's bones, because they needed something to prove that a murder had even taken place. So that is what I'm going to say is 99.9% sure that we are going to find out that the identity of these bones, it's either one way or another. It's either they are Teresa's down at the deer camp and therefore It could have been many other suspects and never would have been locked down to the Denny law. Or we have Carmen Botwell's bones, or well, I'll say someone else's, Carmen's, or it could have been multiple bones. When we read the autopsy report, you guys, it said if these are one person's bones, and assuming that these bones belong to the individual named, that's crazy. So even the person doing the autopsy, the medical uh, doctor, did not want to lock in. All right, so we've got Jay O'Shea. Yeah, when no DNA is alleged rape and murder trail, I knew SA was innocent or a magician. Truly, truly. Markin says, how embarrassing for the state. Absolutely. This is absolutely the first time that they're being held accountable. And that's why it's a day for a live chat. Whitney Lane, is Kratz still doing his show? How I Convicted a Murder? Not sure on the name of it is crap. I don't know, honestly. I refuse to follow Kratz. I believe anything that I invest my energy in will gain in energy. And so, as you know, I brush my teeth after I say his name and I move on. So I'm sorry, I can't actually answer that. Maybe somebody in the group could help her out. Oh, thank you, Diane. Little Misty is saying I'm doing a great job. Bumblebee, Slayer, Rock, E-Rock. Yes, you do rock. Cheers, BB. Um, Expedition Spirit Paranormal. He was clearly coerced. Absolutely. I want to talk a little bit about Brendan real quick. Now, we know that it was noted that Brendan did not um, behave as other children. He had some disabilities. He was in some special classes for his disabilities. And one of them was that Brendan did not feel comfortable doing eye contact ever. And this was the normal for him. And so for Fassbender and Wiegert to, okay, you guys, I got it. I'm sorry. Okay, love you. Thank you. I'm on a live chat with a lot of people. I love you. Okay. That was my husband letting me know that the roof is clear of ice and it's not going to cave in on us because we're in Wisconsin and we have had one heck of a bad ice storm. So back to Brendan. The thing is, you guys, I'm just going to let you know, and you can do your research. There's going to be some in the library. So at the time when the Steve Avery bill was made, that was to help those that were wrongfully prevent those from being wrongfully convicted. There was a huge, huge task force, and it was Avery Task Force. And then Peg L., our Attorney General at the time, decided to take that over. The minute October 31st happened and Teresa went missing, she snatched that bill away, and everybody got fired but two people. And that was Norm Gone, and that was Buting. Them two stayed on. Now, what did Buting do? He went in and he trained all the people how to properly do an investigation on a juvenile while being taped. And guess who he trained? Fassbender and Wiegert. So I'm just going to let you chew on that. That Buting, who was the defense attorney for Stephen Avery, was also the one that trained Fassbender and Wiegert. So something for you to think on. I mean, I'm just saying. Hey, John, nice to see you. Scott Farish, Brandon will be okay because his testimony is being in Stevens Trail. Yeah. Brendan, that's one thing is we have absolutely not a drop of evidence, that hard evidence that substantiates Brendan's involvement whatsoever. And we all know that's because Brendan didn't have a dang thing to do with this. If he was involved in this murder whatsoever, his shoes alone would have condemned him. I'm just saying, nobody's ever brought this up. I'm throwing it out there. My kids have done things. I have four adult children. Well, two adult children, two teenagers. And the first thing I want to know is where they've been. Check their shoes, because you can't even wash off where they've been. There's always a tail. And had he had bleach all over his shoes, had he had blood on his shoes, had there been any change in his shoes to show that they had been washed, I may have been able to buy this a little better, but his pants basically look like somebody took a toothbrush or a paintbrush and just slung some bleach on there. We used to do that for art projects and you get a perfect splatter look, but yet when I mop floors, I get a bleach pattern all the way from the base of my feet that is very, very concentrated, and then it deteriorates in concentration as it goes up my legs. So you see a true pattern on the pants when that happens. And we have no DNA on Brendan's pants. We have no DNA on victim DNA whatsoever associated with Brendan. So he is 100% not guilty. Yeah, we have a lot of people involved in the cover up. Indeed. Ah, good. I answered her question. I feel good. I feel really good now. Okay, Krat said so many things. Oh, this is Christine. I'll just say Christine because I can't say that. Scarcello? I hope I'm not messing up your name. Krat said so many things in the news conference and none of it was true. I don't know how he, I don't know how in the heck he got away with it. I totally agree. Hope she calls Kratz to the stand. Oh, you guys, I I will be glued to that TV. Oh, if Kratz gets up there, I can't wait for this to happen. Okay, let's see. I am sure some of the involved will bail out. Yep. This could push Mama Bear. We'll just call Mama Bear. And I'm not referring to Casey. I'm talking about one of the players. Mama Bear's been protecting Baby Bear and Stepdaddy Bear a lot. This could push Mama Bear over because this is going to be coming out. And that could be very good. All right, you guys, we are going to be joining onto this Discord, into the chatterbox there. And as BB calls it, the puddle room, I call it the chatterbox. And if you look in the description of this, it will actually give you a link that you click, and it will cause you to download Discord if you haven't. So be aware of that. Once you accept the download, it's going to take you right into the room. It's not going to be a lot of clicking or anything, and you literally walk right into the chat. So I'll go ahead and finish up a last few questions here, comments, but I'm a little overwhelmed. I love you guys so much, and I'm a little shaky from this. So let's see. Scott Farish, bring up any arguments? Oh, that's a great question. Let's do this one. Oh, hi from Scotland. I must have skipped somewhere. Let me back up and then we'll get to that one. Okay, involved will bail out, possibly. Join us. Get over the corruption. Cannot get over the corruption. I know, Expedition. Hi from Scotland. Holy cow. Okay, well, hi from the U.S., Mon. Love you much. Q&A. Can KZ bring up any arguments in the 14 days and the state has to answer everything? Well, yes, she should be able to, as long as it's not new, but still on the idea that his human rights are violated, basically, and that he is not being treated, you know, he wasn't given hearings. They were just denied. Nope, nope, nope. Can't have a hearing. Not even the common decency to say why. Just nope, can't have a hearing. Nope, can't have a hearing. Nope, can't have a hearing. So that's what it's about. And so she was saying, hey, his rights are being violated. So anything, Casey's saying, anything that we can bring up that revolves around his human rights is still the same subject. The state is saying each time she brings up a different violation of human right, she's opening a completely different can of worms. Now, the appellate court just got done ruling that no, it's not a whole new can of worms. We're going to combine it all because we haven't even started the proceedings. And so she's still building up. She's still building. And so in theory, if I'm understanding this correctly, remember I'm not a lawyer. I'm just a mom. I just play a pretend lawyer here. Um, but in theory, if everything is understood correctly, Casey can bring up arguments before the 14 days, but she actually has to get them in and on that paper. And once they're on that paper, after that motion is filed with them, she cannot add to it. And then when they do the hearing, she won't be able to bring up more in the hearing. It will have to stick to what she has down on paper. So let's go with Slayer Rocks. If Steve is exonerated, Brendan becomes an unreliable witness regardless of version. Absolutely true. Thank you for that point. Very valid. Rob says, thanks, RD. Love all your videos. Big warm hello from Ireland. Oh my God, we're all over the world, you guys. Rob, you are all over the world. This is great. Arkansas, that's awesome. Pebsy, change the chat from top chat to live chat so not everyone's questions are coming up. Okay, so let me reread. Change the chat from top chat to live chat. Okay, I think I have it on live. Let me look. Oh, no, I don't. Thank you. Oh, you guys are beautiful for helping me. Yeah, I absolutely don't know what I'm doing, so I appreciate. Oh, that's so much better. Beautiful. Okay, now I can scroll up. Thank you for that. Let's see, where are we? I lost my place, so we'll just kind of grab a place to start in. Forgive me if I seem to be rambling along. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. That's as high up as I can go, so we'll just jump in there. Amy says, "Thanks for explaining things for me. Love all your videos. Thank you, Amy, for watching." Ronald, unless the bones were cremated but buried, the Hallbox might allow exhumed. True. Tyson Thundercloud says, "Go Rubber Ducky, go. Love your info and videos." Thank you, Tyson. Much love. Bill H is one thing with the bones enough to get him released. Is one thing with the bones enough to get him released? That's a great question. Um, if those bones turn out to be Teresa Hallbox or anybody else's, pretty much, because what we've got to get our hands on is the pelvic bones that were down in the quarry. If we can get our hands on that, the state may try to argue that indeed he could have went down there and put those bones. However, it also is an argument that not only could he have put those bones there, but so could other people, and that would have dissolved the Denny law at the time of trial, which would have meant that the jury would not have been spoon fed this one ingredient to base their decision on. So instead of just being fed applesauce at the meal, and that's all the jury would have tasted during the trial would have been applesauce. They literally would have tasted the entire meal and been able to make a truly informed decision whether it was Stephen or if it was Brendan or if it was Scott or if it was Bobby or if it was Chuck and Earl or if it was a customer that came to the thing or if it was Ryan or Mike or Bradley or whoever else. That in itself would have been basically a poison apple to the jury to feed them that tainted applesauce when they should never have only been allowed applesauce. I know that sounded crazy for a definition, and the analogies are stupid, but it's what came to me for for a live chat. Um, so DeBoss says GHTRE. I'm not sure what that means, hon. So if you want to, I'm old school. You might have to. I'm not so hip. You may have to kind of let me in on what that means. But I appreciate your post. Bella Balleria, congratulations to everyone that has taken time to investigate or spread the word. You should be also so proud. Yes, yes, you guys are brilliant. Unlike other people's probably crime things, those that work for the Steve Avery cases, whether it be all the other videos people as well as me, we have some of the smartest fans in the world. They actually dig into the case. They follow through to understand details, connect the details, and come back with actually a logical answer instead of just kind of talking out the side of their ear and not checking something if they're challenged. You guys tend to actually go look at the details. And that is why we have taken the immense amount of time to build this ginormous library that will be growing as we go. And in this library, it's going to be interactive for you guys. And there will be areas that once you've participated in these live chats and you've shown that your research is really, really good and that you can stay on task, it'll be a little bit of a challenge. There are those of you that will be invited into the research teams so that you will be actively participating and making sure that we get all the information together for videos and get the public awareness and in the projects of public awareness. So that's those of you that choose that you want to be part of that world and really dig into this case and have access to even behind the scenes information. That's going to be proven over time to see how much you can, how can Tony, you're in like Flynn. You want it, you got it, because you have stayed on this channel and night and day. Every time I turn around, I look, and Tony and Cared, they have both been answering questions left and right. They literally go look up answers and bring them back. So that's an amazing job. And the rest of you, you're so informed. And I just appreciate every day how lucky I am that I have a venue to discuss this with, and that I know we're making headway in the public wave across the ocean. We've got to fight this back and win. So thank you, Bella, for that. Courtney Skinner, I'm so glad you are local. I'm in Appleton. Yes, Wisconsin and the world. Let's do this. The whole world's in on this. Slayer, the integrity of the chain of evidence is broken by them not being controlled. Yeah, the chain of command is a joke. They are relabeling stuff. We've got toothbrushes collected from Avery's bathroom that have his DNA, which is spit, which I suspect is what is found on the key. And his toothbrush gets taken for evidence and never logged into evidence. That's a big deal. And those are some of the things that Zellner has put in her previous filings. And if you ever are interested in those, you can find out where I get a lot of my information, or those lengthy hundreds of pages of her filings, as well as all the researchers. So Kim says, sheesh. Amy says she can't stop smiling. Everybody's agreeing there. Scott's agreeing. Christina say Teresa is alive, and those are Carmen's bones. What, please, part man would take over the handling of the bones? I don't know if Teresa's alive or not, but at this point, I will tell you this. I see nothing that tells me she is dead. I will go there. You guys prove to me Teresa's dead, because I'm not saying she's alive, but I also can't just buy into that she's dead because somebody said so. So somebody's got to show that. Hey, Millbilly, look what we figured out, brother. Millbilly does videos. He will actually have a section in our library, because I love his videos. They are not a lot of just rambling and talking and showing his face. He actually does a lot of research, and he's very cut and dry about making sure that he doesn't draw any conclusions for you guys. He lets you figure it out, and that I have high respect for. And Millbilly's a cool dude. I get to hang out with him quite often, and I enjoy that. And I also respect Dave Pagoda, because look at this. He's been in it from the beginning, and he's gone through all the stuff that he has. And he was the first one that really puffed up his feathers and went out there and said, hey, something's wrong here, you guys. There's something wrong here. So he was the original person to bring up that we've got some problems. So let's see. Christina, hey, Rubberducky, happy to catch your first live. Thank you. Joel B, I can feel a change in the air. I can feel it too, Joel. I'm so excited. Great. Thank you. I got Slayer Rock a full answer. Tony, you are correct. There was nothing biological to plant in the trailer. That's why the key had no traces of Teresa. Kim Vest, you can throw Avery Road out there, please. Yes, absolutely. A lot of my friends are from the Avery Road researchers. They are family to us, and they are the ones that actually went and got the FOIA documents for us and shared the autopsy report with us, so that we were able to bring out public awareness, which is our ultimate goal here. And they do amazing every day and every night. The RD researchers and the Avery Road researchers all kind of hit together and kind of bring together what all we've learned, and we have kind of a debriefing, if you will. And there are times when literally it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can go over there and they're up chatting on the case, which is incredible. We have people from all around the world on the RD researchers and on the Every Road researchers teams. And so if you do make it to that level and you are really interested in this case and a live version, and the behind the scenes version, you will have company at any time of the day, because it's all over the world. Tyson writes, bring back the Botwell Bones video with part 2. Bring back the Botwell Bones video with part 2. Okay, well, we might have to do that. We have I believe it was the Avery Road researchers also have gained access, and they have the Dr. Eisenberg bone report coming up that has not been released. It's going to be very good, and that probably will be our bone video there, part 2. I wish I could see Steven's face. Me too. Oh, you guys, I have something to tell you. So the next video that I'm bringing out tomorrow, or who knows, it might even be tonight. I don't know. I'm on cloud 9 right now. I probably won't do it tonight, but tomorrow is. I know a gentleman that actually was in prison with Steve Avery, and he granted me an actual interview. And it was such a blessing, you guys, to get to sit and talk to somebody who knew such good details. He pinpointed the floor, the time, the date, what prison, the full details to verify that he indeed was there. And I got some insider scoops for you. It is going to be called, now, Pogue is also known as Kim Vest. She's the one that pointed out a great title from this on the Avery Road team. And she said that it should be called the RD Insider. So we've got the RD Insider interview coming up probably tomorrow. Okay, I wish I could see Steven's face. Avery Road Discord. There you go. Thank you, Lily. Thank you so much. Lily is one of our moderators. She's just there to supply information. If you get stuck, make sure and ask her. She can help you. I'm just here because my mom, Mary Mame, is here. Good deal. Let's see, Shelly now. Do you believe vehicle was found 11:3 or was that a typo? You know what? I do believe it was found before 11:5. Absolutely. Have I pinpointed an exact date? I'm not sure. I've been working with Millbilly on that. He has a lot of really good information coming up on an exciting video that is going to walk us through that. So I'm going to leave that answer for him. Um, and we can all look forward to Millbilly's video because it's going to be top notch. I can't wait. But I think he's going to address that better than I would. He knows a lot more on that topic than I do. Um, Thank you, Lily. Did a good job on that too. Rebecca Fudge, ice storm coming here. Yes, as well as in the East Coast, Canada. Yep, Tuesday we're getting another ice storm, you guys. We are literally being buried in ice. Leo, we want to see you. When are you going to be in your videos? Now, Leo, I appreciate that you want that, but you probably are never going to see me because this case is not about my face. And I love you guys so much. But this case is to remain faceless other than Stephen and Brendan, because that is who I'm focused on. And I don't think you seeing my blue eyes is going to help anybody. And if I'm showing off my face, then I'm distracting from the case documents. So, as much as I love you guys, and I assure you I'm not an ugly person, but I'm not pretty, I'm just an average person, house slippers, all that kind of stuff. Um, my face is nothing special to this case, nor is my name, because it's not about me. It's not about anything. It's about Stephen and it's about Brendan, and that's where I want the focus to be on. So, okay, record high temps in Feb. You're in England. Ah, that's nice. That's nice. Maybe we'll have that in the summer here if we get one. Rebecca Fudge. Oh my God. I know. I think she's just excited. Tony, Fackbender and Wiegert should be ashamed of themselves for railroading a young boy with limited intellectual ability. Their halo will fall. Their halo has fallen. Congratulations on that, Fassbender, because you absolutely basically took advantage of an intellectually challenged child. Um, Someday, well, you know what? I am from Wisconsin, and we have a lot of people here from Wisconsin. And I will say I am proud to be a Wisconsinite because we are taking this case serious enough to acknowledge that we, as Wisconsin, have screwed up, and we are going to go against our own county here, our own counties, and Wisconsin, the people are going to stand up for those that are wrongfully convicted. So I'm proud of Wisconsinites for being able to to take the brunt of that and still stand up and say, we're going to make this wrong a right. Yeah, yeah, I won't even say that, Amy, but you're right. Christina, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest and should have been dropped? Let me refer up. There are so many conflicts of interest. What about Sherry Colhane? I mean, she was in the original trial, you guys. Go the hell on. This is crazy. I knew beauty work. Yes, 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 absolutely. And 100% truth on that. Not only did Buting train them, we have to look forward to. I'm just going to say this stuff. It's all true. I have researched and confirmed that Drizzen actually gave, who is Brendan's lawyer now, actually had given a huge conference in training and offering how well you should treat the juvenile and how to protect juveniles by asking a controlled question and never giving the control answer to assure that the coercion question was never broken. He taught that. Jerome Buting was at that meeting. And at any time Within 3 weeks of that meeting, he could have contacted Drizzen and said, "Hey, can you come over and help me with this Buting guy? We've got two of our investigators are pushing him and coercing him, and it's not being done right." But neither Buting nor Drizzen did anything. So that's the truth. And I'm just throwing it out there. And you guys can research this. It's true. Paul Capati, I can't hardly say your name. Please forgive me. Capaldi. Question: do you get the impression that Judge Paul Riley is showing a wee bit of annoyance with the state he handed out lots of orders? Yes, I do. I kind of do. I think he knows that it's going to boil down to the fact that he's in a rock and a hard place. It puts him in the position that if he doesn't side with Zellner, then he's agreeing that it's okay to break the law because of who you are. So I think he's at this point to where he thinks that there's some games being played, and let's just get down to business. He just wants it on the table. I hope that answers your question, Paul. And thank you so much. And I love your video, by the way. Your videos are incredible. And I just got done watching one, I believe it was yesterday, where you interviewed Dave Bagoda. I loved that video. Thank you so much for sharing on your videos. I enjoy them. Tony Fact Bender, I always giggle when people call him that, is in self denial. He doesn't believe he did anything wrong. Well, that may be, but he did a lot wrong, and we all know that. And Tony, you are absolutely right on that. I agree with you. I'm not a lawyer or a judge, but I can't believe how they allowed his confession. No kidding. Wouldn't you think that we have some law that if you confess to something, there should be one piece of incriminating evidence, one piece of hard copy incriminating evidence that can back up what you said to be true? Otherwise, can't we technically go in like, maybe we want to fool who really did it wrong, and 10 people could go confess to the exact same thing when only one was guilty, and we'd stump the state? Wouldn't we have to use the actual evidence to figure out who did it? I mean, I'm just saying. BH, I'm not a lawyer. Okay. Was the rab found on the 3rd, not the 5th? Not sure, but I'm going to let that happen. I emailed Buting, and he actually replied to me. This is Scott Farish saying this. I asked how he could lose a sidebar on the Denny issue, and he said because the state withheld Bobby Dassey's computed. Okay, yeah, but the fact that we might possibly have a land grab on the property as a motive to frame a brother, well, what does that have to do? I have to take my sweater off, so just a minute. Sorry about all the noise. I had to take that off because it got a little warm. Um, you know, if it's a land grab, we could have used that as a motive why Earl and Chucky had that land for 18 years while he's in prison. Now, let's say Steve Avery does win and he doesn't get 36 million. He only gets 4 million. He buys that land. They're out all their hard work, and they're already expressing in all the forms and the witness statements and the testimonies and everything that they're unhappy with Stephen because he's acting controlling to them. And so, no, they don't want him to buy that land. And so, right there, we have a motive to keep Steve Avery from getting the land. He can't get that money. So, we have a motive. Why didn't Buting pull that up? I just feel like they dropped the ball. I just feel like they dropped the ball. So, self canceling evidence if Brendan's jeans are the ones he wore because they have bleach on them. Where's Teresa's DNA? Thank you. Thank you so much, Laird. That is so true. Okay, Julie, will this hearing be live somewhere? Somewhere? I don't know, but I sure pray it does because I want to see it. Oh, I will have popcorn. True Native. By the way, you guys, I want to just tell you, True Native is one of the most gentle hearts in the world, and I've enjoyed every time I've had to answer a question, or she has complimented me, or he. I have always felt so blessed because of the gentleness and the nature. So thank you for showing up, True Native from Arizona. Thank you, Ziggy. As always, I've known Ziggy well before I did live chats and stuff, and I appreciate them on here. Okay, what is the group's name on Discord? You know what? I don't have it up right now, but I want to say that it's the RD Chatterbox, something like that. Um, then let's see, Yorkshire, UK. Holy cow, Scotland. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm so excited. This is crazy. Okay, Tony, the state needed Brendan's confession to build up a narrative of the murder. Problem was, there was nothing forensically to back it up. High five, Tony. You nailed that. Oh, yeah. Daisy Lady, Paul C. Hopefully, the judge will be the snowball that will indicate an avalanche of justice. Oh, I feel that. I feel like we've got the tide turning. You know, it's a butterfly effect. We've started really little, and now, we've got Zellner on our team, and she's out there pushing. And now it's a butterfly effect that little wave we created from the beginning. Of this entire thing has just kind of built up into a giant tidal wave that's coming up. So I'm very, very excited. Let's see. So if you do go to Discord, the Avery Road Discord is also a place where you can go and chat. And that is the Avery Road researchers. And then there's also the other one that Lily's showing. I think we might want to just show the one for the real quick, the other one too, so that we can get both names out there. And that is the chatterbox. Marilyn, yeah, I think that's how I say it. Australia and Manchester, UK. Thank God for Steve. He has gasoline now. Yes, Joel, very true. Tyson writes, when is the reload of the Botwell Bones? I'm not sure. We've got so much happening every day, and I do have a full time job, so and kids and family. So I will not guarantee anything because I want to get that library out by March 1st. Once I've got that under my belt, then I can guarantee you that you'll get that video in the early part of March. If it does come up early, it'll just be a perk because I can't put the library on hold. I'm too excited to get everybody the information. I will tell you that on the Chatterbox Discord, there are some of the storyboards that we're uploading from my videos. So if you want to watch the RD storyboards where you can just look at one storyboard, enlarge it, and read the document, they're individually posted as photographs. Okay, and Scarborough, UK, awesome. Thank you, Sam. And relax, Rubberducky. You are another rock star working on the. Thank you, Rebecca. You're amazing. Thank you. Yes, see, she's saying puddle room. So Lily's calling it the puddle room. That's where we're going to have our live chat in just a few minutes, right at 6 o'clock. And so we've got about 3 minutes till that on my time. And that's Central Time in the US. You may have to do some time adjustments, but in 3 minutes, basically, we're going to go do that. So, Lily, if you want to go ahead and get Discord rolling so that you can get in there and be able to do some meeting and greeting, I'm going to take 5 minutes before I join you all in there because I'm out of wind. Whew, and I've been nervous. So I feel like I'm lightheaded from talking so much. You're doing a great job. Thank you, Julie. Best live on the subject that I've joined. Your passion is wonderful. Oh, you're so sweet. Shelling out. So got RH to have planner. Could have found on the third. Yeah, that's the thing, Shelly. Did RH find the car and then find it? So we'll get into that in the other live chat. Bill H says hi. Ooh, it jumped real quick. I don't know where Bill went. Let me scroll back. Oh, I lost you, Bill. I can't find you. I can't find you. Okay, you guys. I am gonna take a few minutes. I may have missed a lot of this, but I want to say I love you guys very much. Much. Let's see. Yep, it's showing up. Much love. Did I type? I don't know if I'm typing. I'm dark in my room while I'm typing. Much love to you all. Okay, guys. So if you want to continue on with the live chat where we can all interact, I and Lily are going to meet you guys, and I'm sure the rest of the Avery team will also join us. We're going to go into the puddle room. So if you want to click that, it'll help you download if you don't have Discord, and then it'll just swift you right around. Okay, LL Grace, the way you explain all this is so awesome. I was so confused about so much before you. Thank you so much. All right, guys, love you. If I missed you, I apologize. I was overwhelmed. If I didn't see your name, I'm sorry. I promise I'll work harder on it. Daisy Lady says, I'm sure you've answered this before, but I've seen where does your screen name come from? Okay, before I go, I'm going to tell you as a little bitty kid, I was Rubberducky on the handle that talked to my daddy as a truck driver on the CB because he named me Rubberducky because it stands for innocent one. So I love you guys, and you just about made me cry, Daisy. All right, we'll see you on live chat in there, and if not, we will do this again soon. Bye, guys. I don't know how to end it, you guys. I really don't know what I'm doing, so I'm trying to end the live chat. I'll go back to editor, but I'll probably just disappear because I don't know what I'm doing. Hmm. Let's see. Mhm. I'm stuck on live chat forever. Okay.